Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today, guys, we're going to be jumping down into the world of Bitcoin, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what we'd expect to happen next and all that wonderful stuff. So here we have Bitcoin paired up with USDT on the hourly chart, and Binance is our data source here. Just following on from the Twitch stream that we did this morning, you can kind of see that we had this area down here scoped out. This was essentially between the areas of 16,588, or more specifically 16,590 according to my dash line there, and this higher area of about $16,800. And you can see that we actually wicked right into the upper area of this box just here. Now I still think there's more room to the downside. As you can kind of see, this is a big ABC structure, but we're going to probably have to call off, just push up a fraction before going back down a little bit lower. Okay, so I'm expecting us to come down a bit more here and before we actually start to think about this move to the upside. Now, if I grab this yellow box and pull it across here, you can kind of see that this is the area of previous resistance that we broke through, and we're just going to have to retest this area a little bit before we can talk about maybe moving back up again. Now, when I kind of take a look at this from a 4-hour point of view, let me just bring the 4-hour chart up here, we can see there's actually interesting kind of structures here. We have completed this A, B, and C structure, but it's possible that actually we have to have a more of a WXYXZ scenario, okay? So we can't rule out further upside just yet. I would also be concerned about a move that might look more like this. We come down and we go back up like that. Okay, just a kind of an overextension within this particular area here. So I can't rule it out just now, but there is still a lot of room to the downside. So if I bring up our stochastic RSIs here, you can see on the 4-hour chart, we are down here in this oversold area. On the hourly, we've got some room to the downside. The 8-hourly's got room to the downside, and the daily has room to the downside. So we'll still potentially talk about a little bit of move to the upside, but essentially, I am still thinking that there is more room to the downside than the upside. But just keeping in mind that things do not move in straight lines, and we might see a little bit of a push upwards. Now, if I actually take this entire measurement here, and I move it over to this low point over here, you can see that we came pretty much up here on that 1-to-1. So it does look like we've kind of completed this upper move and we do need to move down. However, just expect some kind of volatility, specifically over the weekend. We might just trade sideways through this particular area of $16,500 to about $16,800. And that could just be where we range going sideways over the slow weekend. So just kind of keep that thing in mind. Now, as I come up into our daily chart here, you can kind of see the idea of what's actually going on. Essentially, it's a big ABC structure on the daily where we are targeting out about $14,700. So it does look like this is the most likely scenario that we do have to pull back down into, and this would actually complete a much bigger play. So if I actually show you this on here, we can come down into the low points, which actually would be over here. We bounce up into this point and then we come down here. Okay, so what we're doing here is basically just a 3-wave structure inside of our C wave. Okay, now if I measure that distance from this high point to our bounce just here, then you actually get a little bit lower at 13,172. Okay, so if I actually draw a yellow box area in here on this daily chart, you'll see that it actually is ranging between that 14,700 and 13,100. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that. So just so you can kind of get an idea that you have this kind of range area just down here between these two areas. And the subwave count of whatever happens inside this little area on the way down, this is where we decide whether or not we're going to end up at the top end or the lower end of this box. For example, let me get rid of that and show you. If we go down in 3 waves, then we're probably going to end up with something that will go like this, and we'll just hit the higher end of this area, and then we'll go up from there. Okay, we'll just go to the moon. Now, I say go to the moon. I jest, of course, we won't be going to the moon. At least not right away. So if we look at it from maybe a different point of view and we actually have 5-wave drop, then actually we might be down on the lower end of this, okay? Both of these are corrective structures, and they both are an A, B, and C, but the only difference is how you're actually finishing this off. You're either going to be doing this kind of regular 3-3-5, or you're going to just be doing, you know, a series of maybe a zigzag, double zigzag, triple zigzag. It could be many different things. Thing is, it's too soon to really know, but we do have this idea that we're going to be in this range somewhere, and by measuring whatever that count is, it's going to let us know whether we're going to be in the higher end of this or the lower end of this. Okay, so as time progresses over the next few weeks, this should hopefully get clearer and clearer as time progresses, essentially. So in terms of Bitcoin here, it's actually looking okay. It's not too bad. We've seen this little bit of volatility. This is not unusual. This is exactly what I kind of have been talking about for a while, and I know there were a series of people feeling that maybe they were going to move on up, and there's a short kind of area of bullishness in the air, but I'm not seeing it. Essentially, to me, it all looks like we have to move on down. So you can see there's a little bit of green here. This is to be expected after such a candle, but this is a bearish engulfing candle, so we can't ignore that either. Okay, and so we should be, aware that this is pretty bad in terms of thinking that the price is going to be going down slightly long term. But the price will first go up before it goes down, and this will be to trap out any kind of shorts that maybe aren't using the correct kind of leverage or risk management and stop losses and things like that. So just be aware that price will obviously move up before going back down a little bit here. I would not expect it to breach higher, so I would not expect the price to come up higher than $17,105. So just keep an eye on that. I wouldn't expect it, but you can see we're moving up a little bit here after this, so it's all looking pretty good. So yeah, I think what I'll do is I'm going to leave this video there. I'll obviously do another update on Bitcoin tomorrow to see how things have progressed, but my expectations are that we'll end up with some kind of like A, B, and C structure inside here. So maybe for the next few hours we kind of move up a little bit, and then we pull back down into this low range. I think the weekend we are probably going to be ranging inside this little yellow box area, as weekends tend to be a little bit on the slower side of things. If you have found this useful, smash the like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you haven't joined us in Discord, though, you are missing a trick, so make sure you do that. Linked in the description down below. It is free, and yeah, we'll welcome you there and continue the conversation down in the Discord server. Guys, until the next one, have a fantastic day.